Hi, it's Stacy from Families with Grace, and today I am talking with you about 20 lessons on marriage in 20 years. So it's what the past 20 years as a missus have taught me about love and marriage. So last week, my husband and I celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. I can scarce believe it's been 2 decades of marriage. We married young. I was 20 and only halfway through undergrad. My husband was 22 and had just gotten a full-time job while going to school part-time. A lot has changed since we first said I do, and yet a lot has remained the same as well. We've grown and changed together. We've learned so much about what love and marriage really mean. Number one, being married does not mean losing yourself. Since we got married young, we were both still figuring out our place in the world. We knew some of who we were, but we hadn't had a huge amount of life lived to really refine us and define us. We just knew we loved each other and God, and that was enough. Through the years, we also learned that being married as one didn't make us any less of who we were individually. In fact, being married together brought out the best of our individual selves. I am a better person today because of my husband. And sometimes it's okay to do things apart from one another. Even as husband and wife, you still need your own space. Number two, marriage is a team sport. I probably say this more than anything else when I talk about marriage and relationships, but we are a team. Though neither one of us are sports fans, we've learned early on to be a team and have a team mentality in our relationship. Our goal above all is to support one another and be on the same side. My husband and I do best when we approach life as a team working together instead of as opponents, each looking out for ourselves. Nobody else has my back more than my husband, and the same is true in reverse. We are each other's biggest cheerleaders and are the safe place to land for each other when life is hard. Number three, laughter and fun are vital to a happy marriage. We laugh a lot. Life is serious, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it can bring us to our knees. But any chance we find for humor, we take it. We laugh together as much as we can because taking ourselves too seriously never ends well. Laughter also gives us perspective on whether something is really all that important. We try to adhere to the thought that if we're going to laugh about it later, why not go ahead and laugh about it now? And my husband 100% gets my quirky, punny sense of humor and exploits it often. I'm not sure I should be as old as I am and still giggle, but he still makes me giggle, and for that I'm thankful. We also have fun together playing games and doing other things as well, but games is one of our combined hobbies. Gaming was my husband's hobby when we first got married. And through the years, I've evolved from a gamer's wife into a gaming wife, and I'm so glad I did. We have such a good time together when we get a chance to play together. Number four, marriage is made for giving grace. My husband has taught me so much about grace just by giving it to me. Sometimes I get snippy with my husband because I'm having a bad day or a bad moment, and he will respond with love instead of irritation. I've done the same for him. Grace is not an excuse to treat each other badly. It just means that when one of us is having a bad moment, the other one recognizes it and doesn't respond with anger or irritation to escalate the situation. We also do not take part in the blame game when someone messes up. We learned that lesson, in fact, on the very second day we were married when we ran out of gas on the way to our honeymoon. We were both so excited to be married and going somewhere together, but neither of us remembered to get gas on the way. Instead of blaming one or the other of us, we both realized it was a mistake and we figured out how to fix it while also having a great story to tell in years to come. Number five, you've got to make each other a priority. My husband and I both work from home. While I have worked from home since 2003, he's only worked from home for the last few years. For the last year or so, we have actually shared a home office, so we are together a lot. In fact, we're together more than we are not together. Yet we still have to make connecting with each other a priority because life gets in the way. While we work side by side, we have different jobs, so they don't need to interact. Add in house stuff, chores, responsibilities, and children, and actually connecting can be challenging. We found that making time to have a meal for just the two of us or chatting once the kids are in bed are very important for our relationship. Number 6. Being married means being your true self with someone else. I think one of the best ways to know if you really truly love someone is how comfortable you feel being yourself with them. Being your true self that comes out when you're at home and nobody is watching. My husband and I have that comfort with each other. He has seen me at both my best and my worst and loves me still. I have seen him at his best and his worst and love him still. I'm thankful we can be comfortable with each other no matter what, wherever we are. Number 7. Spouses are not mind readers. While my husband does know me better than anyone else, he still can't read my mind. Early on in our marriage, I learned that communicating well is so very important. If there's something I want or need my husband to do, I ask politely. My husband is highly annoyed by passive-aggressive behavior. I mean, really, who isn't? So we've learned to cut it out of our interactions. It's nice because we know that what we say is what we mean. The only games being played around our house are of the video board or role-playing variety. No games in our relationship. Number 8. Poking fun at each other isn't a good idea. We don't make fun of each other. It's another lesson learned early on that poking fun or joking at the other person's expense can lead to hurt feelings and end up undermining the relationship. We do joke with each other, of course, and we can sometimes poke fun at ourselves, definitely. But we also very much know the limits. Number 9. Keeping God in your marriage is important. From the beginning of our relationship, my husband and I have strived to honor God with our choices. When we got engaged, that only became more important and more serious. Our engagement in the middle of college caused some friction, and we found ourselves in prayer and Bible study to determine whether we had heard God correctly or not. Our marriage spiritual walk has changed and grown as we have. We did a premarital Bible study together. We've done couples devotion books together. We now do a family devotion together each evening with our kids. I've learned that my husband has some awesome spiritual insight and thoughts that haven't occurred to me. He's got a really great perspective that sometimes can really balance out what I was thinking and give me some new insights into who God is and what faith is all about, even more than I thought I knew. I learn and I grow just from hearing him. I feel more comfortable getting into the really meaty struggles of faith in my relationship with God, with my husband, more than anybody else, because I know that I can trust him fully. And we've kept each other accountable. We've encouraged each other in our faith walks. We've grown spiritually together. We have joint stories of God's work, goodness, grace, and mercy that we can share. I've also learned that when my relationship with God is on track and growing, then my relationship with my husband is even better. Number 10. Talking negatively about your spouse to others is not helpful. When we were first married, we had some friends who were also newlyweds, and they would gripe about their spouses. We made a deal that if we had a problem with each other, we would address it with the other and not complain about it to our friends. That policy has served us well. First of all, we don't focus on the things that can drive us crazy about our spouse, which is what happens with griping. Second, it keeps us communicating and fixing issues, which is healthy. And third, our friends will remember negative gripes we've had about our spouse long after we've forgiven them and moving on. Number 11, bragging on your spouse is always permitted. Everybody loves compliments. The more you can brag on your spouse about what they are good at or do well, the better you feel about him and the better he feels about him and you as a result. Nothing feels better than being recognized for what you do and what you do well. So many life experiences go against positivity. Anytime you can be positive about yourself, do so. And if you can do it in front of other people, even better. Number 12, being best friends with your spouse is awesome. While I do have other friends, my husband is by far my best friend. He's the person I go to first with good news or bad news. He's the person I laugh with the most and genuinely want to hang out with the most. As an introvert who needs alone and downtime, I can enjoy the company of friends but still feel a bit drained as a result. That is not true with my husband. He sees the real me and is still my best friend. I am so thankful for that. Number 13. Sometimes you just have to trust your spouse's knowledge. One of the things that drew me to my husband way back when we were in high school was how intelligent he is. I mean, he was also super cute, and still is, so that was another draw. But his intelligence really got to me. He's a smart guy. He thinks outside the box. He comes up with efficient ways to accomplish tasks. He can visualize things, and I cannot. I'm not good at that at all. Long ago, I learned to trust his knowledge when it is superior to mine. For example, when we were looking for a new home about a decade ago, we had a discussion as to whether the dining room set we had would fit in one of the houses we were looking at. I wasn't so sure. My husband said yes. I conceded that he knew best because I really cannot visualize well, and I know that he can. Our realtor was shocked, but it makes sense to me. He has strengths, I have strengths. It makes sense to use those strengths instead of fight against them. Number 14, romance changes as you go. One time when my husband and I were dating, he gave me a small teddy bear holding a pair of earrings. Actually, these earrings are still with him. Another time, I left him a note on his car while he was inside at work. Those were sweet and romantic gestures, but they were nothing compared to the romantic gestures of love that come with being married for so long. For example, he's driven me out of state for doctor appointments many times to allow me to see a specialist for my chronic health issues. While that may not scream romance like we see it on TV or in the movies, it does to me. My husband has given up his own time and comfort because he loves me and wants me to feel better. He's worked late to be able to take off and go with me. He hasn't complained when I wasn't even up to helping with the driving. That is romance and love beyond anything a flower or card could ever say. Number 15. All that said, traditional romantic gestures are still nice and appreciated. While number 14 is 100% true, we also do still appreciate traditional romantic gestures. Nice meals out, just the two of us, are priceless. A card left with words of love is sweet. Surprise flowers or flowers for an occasion are precious. On our anniversary last week, for example, I spent the afternoon with both kids swimming on their last day of summer break. I came home worn out and found a beautiful bouquet of flowers and a nice card and my favorite candy waiting for me from my husband. It was unexpected, and I looked a frightful mess. I also loved every moment of it. Number 16. Good life experiences are even better when shared with someone you love. I love being a mom, but I love more sharing that parenthood journey with my husband. I love sharing all my journeys with him. We can share a quick look and know what the other is thinking. No one else finds our children so adorable, smart, charming, precious, and hilarious as we do. No one else understands the small victories, or big ones, we have quite as much as each other. We've celebrated together over things that don't make much sense to anyone else, which is exactly how it should be in a marriage. Number 17. Marriage is made for inside jokes. I've struggled many times throughout my life with feeling left out, whether legitimately or perceived. If there were inside jokes, I often wasn't included. However, that's not true with my husband. And in the 25 years of being together, we have plenty of inside jokes to go around. There are things that happened a decade or more ago that can still come up randomly and make us laugh together. Inside jokes are a pretty precious gift, even, and maybe especially, when no one else would find them remotely funny. Number 18, take and print photos. When my husband and I first got married, it was before digital cameras were common and way before phone cameras were around. In fact, a video from the day of our wedding includes a friend of ours talking about his new digital camera and how it holds 6 pictures. He was so excited because it held 6 pictures, which seems so silly now, but it was pretty exciting then. In our early days, we used film cameras. I started a photo album tradition each year we were married of putting together photos for that year with captions. Back then, originally, it meant that I would have to print the photos and then type, print, and cut out captions and put them all together into albums. While my process has changed thanks to online photo sites, I still make an album for each year with photos and caption information. I found these to be priceless even after only 20 years. Having recently gone through photos of my parents for their 50th wedding anniversary, I can only say they'll get more precious with time. I hope that one day our kids will be glad to have them too. Taking photos of each other and together, even when you are not social media ready, is important. They're nice memories to preserve and to have. And I dare say it is also important to have some cherished photos just for you and not just to post on social media. Number 19. Marriage means having a built-in sounding board. I enjoy being able to bounce ideas off my husband, and he enjoys the same in reverse. Sometimes making both large and small decisions is just easier when you have someone to talk it through with. We've talked together through major life decisions like having babies and moving. And we regularly talk through very minor decisions like what home project to work on next or what after-school activities our kids can participate in. It also works that I can talk with him when I do have some sort of issue emotionally and I'm thinking, I'm not sure whether it's legitimate or not, and so I can get another perspective, which sometimes is what I really need. Number 20, the last one, marriage gives you a permanent sidekick. This is one of my favorite parts of marriage. I've got a person by my side for always. Sometimes that looks like my husband going along with me to a friend's wedding or me going with him to a family reunion. Other times it looks like him taking over with the kids so I can go to dinner with a friend. Or I take over so he can play games with friends. We've each gone to events for the other that maybe he didn't really want to, but it's always better being together than being apart. We learned early on in our marriage to discern and communicate what activities are really important to have each other there for, and what ones are okay to give a pass. Being honest with each other about what is most important to us has helped us know how to best be there for each other and be able to rely on each other to come along when we ask them to. And that is it. Those are my 20 lessons. There's so many more things. But those are the 20 we put together today. I'm so excited. I am that we are able to celebrate our 20th anniversary. I cannot wait to see what the next 20 years and beyond bring. Thanks so much.